So this will be the quick tip how to mask a carpet when you're about to paint the door frame, window frame like this one here, or skirting on the other side. So this is what I do. I used 3M tape and I sort of trying to tuck it in underneath the timber like that. As you can see, whoever's done it before did not use this technique. He left like 10 millimeters of timber not painted, exposed like that. But this is how I do it. So I'm gonna paint all that I didn't paint it before. And this is the best way to do without getting paint on a carpet. Even though if you're really good with cutting in, you will paint the carpet. At least the small tiny hairs that are hanging around will catch the paint when you stroke with the brush. So this is the best way to avoid the hassle. On one of my previous videos I demonstrate how to mask the carpet before painting and skirting. Now I'm gonna show you how to paint the actual skirting with masked carpet and how to do it. So first I unload the paint on the top like that and press the brush against the wall and skirting all the way down to the bottom of the skirting and pull it like that, and repeat one more time, same in the corner, barely even touching the tape. Lay off the top edge from the wall, and that is it. So let's see what's the finished product look like. If you pull the tape off, you can see all the way through. So no paint on the carpet. I'm gonna show you one trick that I'm using when I'm rolling with small sleeves or any sleeves. I cut all this in a 45 degrees because when you paint, if it's a like straight edge, it will flatten down and hit the side of the roller and the paint will start dropping constantly. So to avoid that, I just cut it on 45 degrees. Some of the rollers have that already, but most of the rollers now they don't have that, so you know, you better make sure so you don't have drips on the floor. Another quick tip how to cut on the stairs when it's fiddly like this. It's all about how do you press a brush to point the bristles in the right direction. And when I do this, I do fiddly part first and then I do all the big surfaces. Reason why? For this stuff you need a little bit more patience than usual. So you better do this first and then the wider surfaces. That's a lot easier to do than this. That's it. Before you do any painting, give it a light sand, clean all the dust, and then you can start painting as any other surface. The same with any doors. This time we are painting panel doors, as I mentioned before. When I start painting doors, I always go on the edge, and that's where I start. Paint this edge where the hinges are, like that, using small roller as much as possible, and get close, very close to the hinges. Then you move to the other edge of the door, front edge, same thing. Apply paint with a small roller, close as possible to the steel on the lock, and then cut it in. Start from the panels inside and out. You can do it other way around as well, but I prefer starting from panels inside. I'm gonna apply paint with a small roller first and try to get in all the corners. Now we're gonna start on the door. Again, when you paint the door, don't overlap on that side. Just do timber by timber. Try to cut it in nicely, you know, when the timber join up, like that. Lay it off every time. See, that's how it's supposed to be. Never do these edges with a fully loaded brush. Unload the brush on a bigger surface first, then do the edge, because you don't need that much paint for this edge here. And if it's If the brush is fully loaded, you're gonna have a crease all the time, constantly on the corner here. It's still drying off, but yeah, that's how I do these doors. Anything that's with the clear, pretty much, that's the process. Thank you for watching. Now I'm gonna lay it off with the brush. When I do these doors, I make sure I don't paint these joints in one go. Always paint one joint at a time. Otherwise, when you leave it to dry, they might stick together and damage the timber, because the cedar is very soft timber. They can get glued together and rip off all these corners as here. So always make sure do them different times. Give a time for one to dry and then do the second one. That's the best way to go with. I have to do the bottom here, no gapping as well, but before I do that I have to sand this patch, and as always I'm using this scraper and for this kind of work, just to take off the rough part, and then I will sand it with 120 grit sandpaper. This is a 120 grit sandpaper, so I'm gonna give it a good sand. With sanding, so just lightly, and it's a lot easier to sand. So the last will be masking this massive, handle and the lock and everything together, but I don't want to even attempt to remove this stuff. Normally I remove everything from the door, but I've never removed this one, so you need a manual for this one basically. Gotta make sure I don't go on the timber, just on the lock. Precision. So this is only one side. I'm gonna do other side now, and then we're gonna go and apply undercoat. When removing dowel lines, watch out on not to get the flick on your fingers from these things here. As you see, I can pretty much hit you hard on your fingers. Just have to be careful. When putting down lights back, it's very simple. Just first check anything on the way. If it is, push it if you can. If not, just turn it around on the other side and just put it up. And that's it. Just clips in nicely like that. This is the stain blocker I'm using. It's a really good product. It's from Dulux Precision. It dries very quickly, which makes the job a lot easier. I highly recommend it.